Have you ever stood in front of a wine shelf, eyes darting between red and white bottles, wondering, what's the real difference between red wine and white wine? Is it just the color? Or is there more to the story? Whether you're a casual sipper or an aspiring sommelier, you'll walk away knowing how to choose the right wine for your taste, your dish, or even your mood. Today we're diving deep into the world of wine to uncover the surprising, delicious, and sometimes misunderstood differences between red versus white wine, from how they're made to how they taste, and even how they affect your body. So grab your glass or your curiosity, and let's uncork the truth behind these two iconic pours, right here on History of Simple Things. Let's start with the obvious. Red wine is red, and white wine is, well, not red. But the real reason why comes down to the grapes, and more importantly, what happens to them after they're harvested. Red wines are typically made from dark-skinned grapes, like Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Pinot Noir, and Syrah. White wines, on the other hand, are usually made from green or yellowish grapes, like Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, and Riesling. But here's the kicker. It's not just the grape color that matters, it's also what winemakers decide to do with the grape skins. In red wine production, the grape skins, seeds, and sometimes even the stems are left in contact with the juice during fermentation. This process is called maceration, and it's what gives red wine its deep color, complex tannins, and bold flavors. White wine, by contrast, is usually pressed right after crushing, separating the juice from the skins almost immediately. The juice is then fermented without the skins, which is why white wines are generally lighter in color, body, and taste. There's also a subtle but important difference in fermentation temperatures. Red wines are fermented at warmer temperatures, about 70–85 degrees Fahrenheit, 21–29 degrees Celsius, which helps extract color and tannins. White wines are fermented cooler, around 45–60 degrees Fahrenheit, 7–15 degrees Celsius, to preserve their fruity and floral aromas. So even if you use the same grape variety, say a Pinot Noir, you could make a white wine if you remove the skins quickly. That's exactly what Blanc de Noir Champagne is, white sparkling wine made from black grapes. Next up, let's talk about what you feel in your mouth when you drink wine, beyond just taste. Tannins are compounds found in grape skins, seeds, and stems. They're what make red wine feel dry or astringent, kind of like when you drink really strong tea. Tannins give structure and ageability to red wine, but they're mostly absent in white wine since the skins are removed early. Acidity, on the other hand, is more prominent in white wines. It gives them that crisp, zesty character that makes your mouth water. Think of a Sauvignon Blanc or a dry Riesling. That bright, citrusy zing is acidity at work. And then there's alcohol content. It can vary depending on grape variety and climate, but generally speaking, red wines tend to have slightly higher alcohol levels. That said, it's not a hard rule. There are bold whites and light reds out there too. Okay, so how do they actually taste? Red wines are often described as rich, bold, earthy, spicy, or even smoky. You'll find flavors like black cherry, plum, leather, tobacco, and dark chocolate. These wines tend to be heavier and more complex, with a mouth-coating texture. White wines lean toward bright, fresh, and aromatic. You might notice notes of green apple, pear, lemon, peach, or even tropical fruits. Some whites, like oak Chardonnays, can be buttery or nutty, but most are light and refreshing, especially when served chilled. These differences in taste aren't just due to grape variety. The presence of tannins, the level of acidity, the use of oak, and even the fermentation temperature all play a role in shaping the flavor. Now let's talk food. Because let's face it, wine is even better with a great meal. You've probably heard the classic rule, red wine with red meat, white wine with white meat or fish. It's a good starting point, but it's not a hard law. Red wines with their bold flavors and tannins pair wonderfully with grilled meats, hearty pastas, aged cheeses, and dishes with strong spices or umami flavors. Think steak and Cabernet or lamb and Syrah. White wines, especially those with higher acidity, are perfect for lighter dishes like seafood, salads, creamy pastas, or chicken. A glass of Chardonnay goes beautifully with roast chicken, while a crisp Pinot Grigio complements shrimp or sushi. But don't be afraid to mix it up. A chilled red like a Gamay or Pinot Noir can be amazing with salmon, and a rich white like an aged Viognier can hold its own with pork or veal. Another difference: aging potential. Red wines, thanks to their tannin structure, tend to age better than whites. Some red wines can improve over decades, developing complex aromas and flavors over time. White wines are usually meant to be enjoyed young, fresh, and vibrant. But there are exceptions. Certain whites like vintage Champagne, Riesling, or white Burgundy can age beautifully for many years. When it comes to storage, both red and white wines prefer cool, dark places with consistent temperatures. And once opened, red wines last about 3–5 days, while whites should be consumed within 3 days and kept in the fridge. So, red wine versus white wine. What's the real difference? It's not just about the color. It's about grape skins, fermentation, tannins, acidity, and of course, personal taste. One isn't superior to the other. They're simply different expressions of the same beautiful tradition. Next time you're faced with that wine shelf decision, remember, you're not just picking a bottle. You're choosing a whole experience. Cheers to discovering your favorite. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.